A new Ahsoka development is getting some fans upset, but I'm here to reassure you why it's not a big deal and why we shouldn't worry about it. We've spoken about this account before. They've posted the runtimes for recent shows like Andor, Mando Season 3, and they generally get it spot on. They revealed the Ahsoka runtimes for the premiere, the first 2 episodes, on August 23rd, but now they've unveiled episode 3 on August 30th. The second week of the show, the 3rd episode, is 34 minutes and 50 seconds in length, or just over 31 minutes without credits. Now I get it, and some fans have been very upset about this, but I want to reassure you, there have been some very short Mandalorian episodes that have been some of the best, and this isn't too much shorter than some of those. We're going to go through those without credits in a minute, just to show you the ballpark we're dealing with, but remember the first 2 episodes on the 23rd are pretty long, so it balances out, and we don't know the lengths of any of the other ones after episode 3. It could turn out they're all very long after that, or varied, and I'm going to go with varied, that's the more likely option, and as I say, it's not a big deal. Dave Filoni warned us they were going to vary in length. Chapter 1 The Mandalorian, the opening episode, which got fans so excited with the big reveal of Baby Yoda Grogu at the end, was 39 minutes long. And by the way, the only reason I said Baby Yoda and not Grogu is that back then, in 2019, we didn't know what Grogu's name was. Moving on, Chapter 2, The Child, one of my favourite all-time episodes of Mando, was 32 minutes long, so shorter than the 34 that episode 3 of Ahsoka is. And I'm not denying it's on the shorter end, it definitely is, but it's not the end of the world. We've had episodes around about this time. The average length of Mando episodes are 41 minutes, so for all we know, after the 2 long episodes of the first week, and then after the short one in week 2, it might go back to long episodes. They vary in length. Going back to the Mando thing, Chapter 5, another beloved episode, was 35 minutes. Skipping forward to Season 2, some of the best episodes of the second season were around about the same length. Chapter 11, for example, The Heiress, the episode that Bo-Katan first features in live action, was 35 minutes. Chapter 14, The Tragedy, which was the Boba Fett episode, he wants his armor back, the Razor Crest was destroyed, Grogu goes on the Seeing Stone on Tython, that phenomenal episode, it was 33 minutes. The Believer, the one with Bill Burr, the episode after Chapter 14 was 38. So what I'm saying is this, some of the best episodes of the Mandoverse so far have been around the same length, give or take. And even if you look at the Book of Boba Fett, there were some shorter episodes but also some longer ones as the season progressed. I've seen some people on social media completely disheartened by this, and what I'll say to them is don't worry. As Obi-Wan says in Attack of the Clones, relax, take a deep breath. This is not the end of the world. This is episode 3. There are 8 episodes. The first 2 are very standard, if not on the longer side of things. It's a TV show. I trust Dave Filoni to tell a good story, and while this is a shorter series compared to his animated ones which had a lot more episodes, he knows how to structure things. He's a good writer, and I trust he's going to give us something very special. So the answer to am I concerned? Absolutely not. I've got a very good feeling about this show, one I haven't had for any of the TV shows so far. By the looks of things, the confidence Disney has to promote it as much as they've been doing, which has been much better than other series I must say. Even here in London I'm seeing Ahsoka posters on buses. This show looks to be, from all the promo material from the trailers and the TV spots, the best Disney Star Wars can do in terms of TV. It's got lightsabers, yesterday we found out, and big spoiler warning, we're getting Anakin in the show. They're continuing the characters from Star Wars Rebels, which we love. We're getting different kind of Force users, and Grand Admiral Thrawn. I think it's going to be fine, and we need to remember the one thing Dave Filoni said at Star Wars Celebration regarding the way they structured this series, and there was an influence of Jon Favreau. We don't really consider him when it comes to this show, but he still is the creator of the Mandoverse generally speaking, and it was both his idea and that of Dave to bring Ahsoka into the mix. Even though Ahsoka is Dave Filoni's baby, he definitely had influence on this series coming about and it connecting to The Mandalorian. And here's what Dave said about the runtimes. One thing Jon Favreau and I are very adamant about is we try to, cut it down and strip it down to keep it moving. My episodes have actually started pretty long. They're probably relative to other episodes I've written and done, like the episode The Jedi, but it's got to be tight and fast to make the action work. They've got to be shorter. I would say they're in the same range as Mandalorian episodes. And I remember when this came out, some fans were worried by the stripped down comment, saying he's going to water the episodes down and make us feel like we're lacking something, that they weren't long enough. Now, setting aside Star Wars fans loving Star Wars and wanting more content, wanting longer runtimes generally, I think this is a very good approach, because he's not saying he's cutting out the important bits, he's cutting out the bits they could do without to make this series feel concise, and as he says, moving along, it's got to keep moving, it's got to go from point A to B to C, and every episode, much like Star Wars Rebels, needs to feel like it's moving at a steady pace. But the pressure's even higher for live action, because you're dealing with a show that appeals to a wider demographic than the animated shows, and not just this is one of Disney's biggest shows of the year. And for casual audiences too, this show has to still feel like a compelling TV show where you want to watch the next episode, so they can't have too much filler. And his episode, The Jedi, while longer than Ahsoka episode 3 at 47 minutes in length, was really done in the perfect way. No dialogue was wasted, the action sequences were phenomenal, and as he says, they were very tight about it. There was a lot that was probably cut out. We're now just 9 days away, and in a couple of days, we can officially say we're 1 week away. That's crazy, that's gone by so fast. Considering it feels like we just had The Mandalorian Season 3, this has been a good year for the Mandoverse. But I'm hoping Ahsoka delivers way more than Season 3 of The Mandalorian did. And just one last thing for Ahsoka, seeing a one-to-one comparison, it dawned on me just how good Syndulla looks in live action. Human beings are not animated characters, and I do think this was a very good casting. I was surprised by the casting when it was first announced, but looking at these full body stills and comparisons to the way they dressed and were characterized in Star Wars Rebels, which in and of itself is a very exaggerated animated style, I think they did a good job with the costuming, with the casting. More Space Mum is coming in just over a week's time. And I want to ask you guys a question. With Jacen Syndulla confirmed for the show, with Hera being there with Chopper, I don't think they're going to do a full Kanan Jarrus flashback or anything like that, but do you think he should be acknowledged? Do you think there should be a moment where we see Hera sad, or maybe just reference him? She is fully tapped into the world of parenting. Do you think she's going to mention his dad to him? I think that's an important thing to do, because I suspect he will be Force sensitive and might be trained as a Jedi. Could he be inspired by Jacen from Legends, but could that also mean a dark path later on? I saw some fans mention in the recent TV spot called Force, the text said a new Jedi will rise. I think this is surface level and probably in reference to Ahsoka. There is a chance it refers to Sabine, but I do think it's Ahsoka. I do think it's going to be a new chapter for her Jedi path. But imagine if this is also referencing Jacen. What do you guys think of this? And just a reminder, I will be posting full episode breakdowns every single Wednesday. We're going to be talking a lot about this show, and as always, there are going to be some exclusives over on Patreon, so you don't want to miss it. Please go check that out, the link is down there in the description. There are tons of videos you cannot find here on YouTube. If you enjoyed this video, my dear friends, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you, always.